What's going on, everybody? You know that I love cards. I know that you all love cards. And the best part of being a card collector is really getting new cards that you're excited about. And I'm really, really excited for my pickups this month. And I completely blew my budget. I absolutely 100% got completely carried away this month. But you know, when there are cards that you've been looking for and you've been waiting for, and they don't pop up all the time. Now, it's not that they're all rare. Now, some of these cards are like under pop 10 that I'm going to show you that I picked up this month. But it's that in the grade that I want, they don't come up where they look nice. A lot of the times, if you're looking at an older card in a 2 or a 3, it's kind of beat up. But sometimes a 2 or a 3 has really good eye appeal. And again, I'm not saying, just like from my video a couple days ago of my grading reveal, it doesn't mean that the grades are wrong. It doesn't mean that the technical grade is incorrect. It's that the grade that it is technically is different than the grade of how pleasing it is for me to see it and look at it. And there are times that there are little issues with a card that my eyes might not even see or care about at all. And those are the cards that I want to go after, the ones who look really nice, even though the grade is low. So when they come up, sometimes you just got to pounce. So early in the month, a couple of them came up and I felt like I needed to pounce. So I did. And then very late in the month, a couple of cards came up that I was really excited about, and I decided to pounce. Now, one of the cards that I picked up this month, I've been searching for the right one for literally, I'd say 2.5 years. For 2 or 2.5 years, I have said, and you might be able to figure out what the card is here, I have said I think this is the best looking card of all time. Now, that doesn't mean it's the best card of all time. I just personally love the image of this card. And in an affordable price, it can get to be pretty expensive. But finally, one came up this month that was in the grade range that I could go for, and it looked really good. I loved the eye appeal. And I got that. Then there was another card that was never on my radar until the National. And I saw this card at the National, and it's a fairly big card for me. And I saw it at the National. I'm like, man, that would be cool to have that someday. And it came up this month, and there aren't a ton of them. It's like a pop 10-ish with SGC and PSA combined. Might even be pop 9. It's 9 or 10 in this particular card. And it came up this month at a golden auction, the big golden auction that ended a couple weeks ago or a week ago or whatever, 2 weeks ago, I guess. And it ended at a really good price, and I put in a bid. I thought there was no chance I was going to get it, and then I got it, and now I can't believe that I got it, and I'm excited to have it. And there were some other things along the way. So I'm as excited to show you these pickups as I have been in a long time, well, certainly since the National. But for a monthly pickup video where the National or Strongsville didn't take place, I went way past my budget this month, and I just couldn't help myself. So enough of me blabbering away. Let me show you what I picked up. All right, first off, a T206 Hall of Famer to add to that run. This is Vic Willis. This guy was a really good pitcher. He didn't pitch a super long time, but I think it was something like 75% of his starts were complete games. And most of his seasons, I don't know, something like 8 out of his 14 seasons or something, he had 20 wins. Really good ERA. Just the eye appeal of this card. You may have seen this card. I posted it on my SGC PSA reveal a couple of days ago. And it came in, and it was in the old slab, and I was just about to send in an SGC submission. So I decided to have it put into a new holder so it would match some of my others. So here it is in the new holder. I've been looking for this one for a while with good eye appeal, and it's been about a year I've been looking for that one. You can see I picked it up for $229 and an SGC 2.5, which that's a pretty good deal for a card like that one. And here's a good look at it. You can see that top right corner's a little off, but the centering and the eye appeal are just fantastic. And that's what I'm looking for my T206 cards. Now, speaking of, I picked up another one. This is Jimmy Collins. Jimmy Collins was basically the Brooks Robinson of the pre-war era. He was a really, really good defensive third baseman. Changed how that position is played. Started having bunts be covered by third basemen because of him. Again, this is a card I've been searching for a while. And for some reason, it's a little bit more expensive than some. But you can see the bold background, the good centering, and this thing in an SGC3, I just think is fantastic. So yet another T206 Hall of Famer. I'm slowly chipping away. Some of the more expensive ones are ahead of me, so it'll be a minute to save up enough money, but thrilled to add that card into the collection. I paid $316 for this SGC3, and again, when you're talking about a T206 Hall of Famer in a 3, you're looking around that $300 mark, and when it has good eye appeal, it sometimes will climb over it, and this one to me has really, really nice eye appeal. So far I've already had a pretty good month. And then, one of my things in my collection I do is I collect Yankee captain cards, especially some of those vintage guys. Well, this is Roger Peckinpah. This is a 1927 York Caramel. And this is a Type 1. He has, I think, 4 different versions in this card. There are a few issues with the printing of him. You can see they spelled his name wrong. It says Rogers Peckinpah. My guess is because Rogers Hornsby is also in the set. And so there was the confusion there. But it's got pretty good eye appeal for a 1.5. Got a little bit of staining on it. But this card, I think, is a Pop 8 in SGC in this variety. And pretty decent centering. And so I was really excited to pick that card up and add it to my Peckinpah lot, and paid $100 for it. I think he was asking like 125 or 130, and I offered 100, and he took it. So that was a great pickup. And here is a closer look at that one. This is the Type 1. There's a few more in PSA holders than SGC, but still, all in, there's maybe 25 or so of these. Now, speaking of Yankee captains, this was put out by the Yankees a few years ago. There's a little bit of confusion on one of the captains. And the Yankees, when they announced Aaron Judge as a captain, they released this, and according to their records, Raleigh Zeider was a Yankee captain. And depending on the list you look at, you may not see him. Some of the lists are a little contradictory. Well, if the Yankees say it, you can see there I'm pointing to, this was a Federal League card. He played in the Federal League for Chicago. So this is a Raleigh Zeider card, my first card of his as I continue to collect these Yankee captains. This is an SGC3. Now, the 1915 Cracker Jacks were ordered by mail, but also some came in boxes of Cracker Jack. And you can see from the staining on this one, the caramel staining, the molasses there, that this was obviously one that was in a box. But I just thought that the eye appeal on it was fantastic. I bought this card directly from Stan of Stan's Vintage Cards. He had it for sale on his eBay store. And I reached out to him directly, and we came up with $360 shipped for this card. I'll probably end up sending it in to put it in a new slab, a new SGC slab. But just look at the image on that. I just thought, I want to get one of his cards. Why not be this one? It's just fantastic looking. Well, I got a couple more big pickups to go, but you knew I had to sneak in a couple of these pirate cards. So this is Bradley, the pirate. This is in a PSA 5, which is a very high grade for an 1800s card. And it's in good condition. This is a little bit of an older slab, but it still is a pretty darn good card for the grade. And as I'm slowly building that set, there are 50 cards in this Allen and Ginter set that I'm collecting, and I'm just over 30 now. I think this is maybe number 31, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just trying to chip away at these. Now, being in a high grade, it was going to be a little bit more expensive than some. So I paid $130 for this one. And again, when you're talking about a card this old in a grade like a 5, it's not going to be cheap. But you can see here from the image, it's a really nice one. And they do pop when you see them in person. They're just gorgeous. Well, I rolled the dice on this one. So I saw this listing in the UK, and this was one that I needed. And the picture was awful. But he was only asking, it was like, I don't know, 35 or 40 British pounds. And maybe, and that translates to about $50. And I was like, I need it. It's only $50. I'm just going to go for it. And then it showed up in the mail, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's a really, really good condition. Now, I don't know what it's going to grade. Not that that matters. This is not going anywhere, but you can see there's a little tiny little surface damage right there. Other than that, it's fantastic. And the image on it is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. So thrilled to pick this card up. You can see there, it was 35 pounds. Again, translated to right around $50. So I'll send that one into SGC with my next SGC order. Here's another look at it. You can just see how clean that image is. My goodness. Remember, this card is from 1888. Like 135 years ago. 140 years ago. Crazy. Oh, and then like one of my favorite cards of all time. The 53 Bowman Color Warren Spawn. I have been looking for this card and looking, and the centering on it is so tough to find in decent centering. And this one is pretty darn well centered. And then if you do find one, a lot of the times there's lots of little black dots or fish eyes on his cap. And this one is just super clean. And I am thrilled with this PSA 4 Warren Spawn card. I have been patiently waiting for the right one to come up. Now, I paid up for it. The range on comps on this card in a 4 is about 160 to 200. And I paid at the high end of that because of the eye appeal. I just thought the image, I mean, again, how do you even comp a vintage card at this point? I mean, the grade matters, but it's all about, do you like the looks of it? So I paid $198.50 plus shipping plus tax. So I was all in at like, I don't know, $215, $220, something like that. I am so excited. Now, when I took this picture, there's a little bit of dust on the case, so there's a couple little white specks up there that aren't on the card. But, man, I am so happy to have picked that up. And then I thought I was done until a golden auction. And how about a Casey Stengel rookie card? A Casey Stengel rookie card. A pre-war card of a legendary baseball mind. Pretty darn well centered. The M1015.
There were a couple of versions of this. There's a blank back, there's an advertising back. A couple other cards use this image, and this one is a blank back, as you can see. And in SGC, the M101 5 blank back of Casey Stengel is a Pop 2. The other one is a 5, which sold a couple years ago for like $3,700. This is a 2.5. But the eye appeal on it, I think, is just great. In fact, the 5, I don't like the eye appeal as much as this one. And again, there are a couple others of his card. Now, he does have a minor league card before this, but this would be what most would consider his rookie card. And I paid, with the buyer premium, $736. It was like $620 or $615 plus the buyer premium of a Casey Stengel Playing Days rookie card, which I'm just absolutely thrilled with adding to my collection, especially being a set that I love so much, being a fan of Yankee history and collecting Yankee legends, just awesome.
So I totally blew my budget. Like, my budget is generally about $200 a month at this point. And I sometimes will go a little above that. Sometimes will go a little below that. And I try to also at times take some money if I sell a few things or whatever and put that into a side account for some of the big shows. I'm just now starting to try to save up for Strongsville. So I've been trying to kind of tone down my purchases. And then I have a month like this where I spend about 10 times as much as I usually would spend in a month. But man, I'm so excited about some of these cards. Now, let me say this too. One of my favorite things about my pickup video from the month is it's when I launch and open up submissions for the MidLife Community pickups for the month. So if you have a pickup from the month of October, please go down below to the description, take a look and click on the link, and it gives you, has a couple of questions and has a spot for you to upload an image of your favorite pickup of the month. And as you guys know, probably my favorite video every month is sharing your pickups for that month. So that only is fun if you all take a second to upload your favorites. It doesn't have to be an expensive card. It doesn't have to be a fancy card. It's just a card that you picked up, that you're excited about, that you want to share with others. But that submission is going to open today. I think I'll probably end that a week from tomorrow, a week from Sunday. So what would that make it? Let's see, 9, 10, like the 17th. Is that what it is? So it'll be open until about then. And then the end of that week is when I will post it. Now, another thing, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I've been thinking about it for a long time. One of the things I'm going to do is at the end of the year, I'm going to do a year-long summary, a year-long pickups highlights from the MidLife Community. And with this being the November edition from October pickups, there will be one more opportunity to submit your pickups in this year-long show and tell for that big extended edition of some of the most monster pickups that we saw during the year of 2024. So submit yours down below. Let me know what you think about my pickups. I am absolutely over the moon about some of these cards that I've added to my collection this month.